Good morning. Good morning. I was just notifying everyone on the old Snapchat that I am live on Facebook. I tell you somewhere else that we are live, I think. Let me ask my production manager, Paul Sullivan. Smith. Paul's riding you pretty hard this morning, so thank you for taking the time to do the show with me, produce my show. Is it true that we are live on YouTube as well?
Yes, sir.
Okay, here's what I need you guys to do, please. This is a favor. And as you know, I am an advocate of having 5,000 friends on Facebook. But I can't post all the things I want to on Facebook. I have to post a lot of them on YouTube. So there's a lot of good information that I think you would enjoy on YouTube. And quite frankly, if you're my friend, I would just simply appreciate you taking the time to go over to YouTube and like my page. Just search Billy W. Merritt. We've only got like a couple hundred subscribers. We got 50,000 views of the show, though. So we are really on the cusp or the precipice, I don't know if I'm saying that right, of something really big with some really heavy hitters in the broadcast and in the show business. So, but what we need, be honest with you, I need 1,000 followers on YouTube. So, I try every single day of the week at 11 a.m. to bring you some very useful information, some very specialized knowledge, maybe something that can help you. So here's what you can do to pay me back. You can go over to my YouTube channel and like my channel, Billy W. Merritt. Now, it's weird, but why am I having to tell you this on the video? Do you know I'm doing it on the video?
I'm not quite sure.
Okay, because if I posted, this is how crazy Twitter and Facebook are getting. Now, with their voice recognition technology, they may even be able to suppress this. It's live, so that you people who are watching it right now, you can hear what I'm telling you, that they are banning people that are promoting other channels on YouTube. And if I share anything and mention Twitter, you won't even see it on Facebook.
Wow.
You will not even see it. As a matter of fact, you saw over the weekend, or maybe the end of last week, when the Biden story came out,
Yes,
and
sir.
a legitimate newspaper published an article. Twitter took their entire account down. So I can't ask for help and use the words YouTube, or they will take it down. I'm not sure that they're not going to, that they can't hear this and figure it out and suppress this. So I wouldn't be surprised if this show got less views than some of the other ones. But anyway, here's the deal. This is the Monday Morning Money Show. And let me tell you something. Money is important. Man, is it important. If you don't think it's important, try living without it. Now, I want this to be a very interactive show. I'm going to provide you with some information that's going to be helpful. So thank you already to Brady for the support. Thank you to Sarah. Thank you to Jeremy. I appreciate that. And to everyone who watches this live and in the future. If you're watching this in the future, welcome to the future, baby. Isn't it awesome? I'm here. Now, I'm going to talk to you about money. I don't have a guest today. I do have a guest. It's Benjamin Franklin, Abraham Lincoln, and George Washington. Some people say it's all about the Benjamins. I want all of them. I want a lot of all of them. So I tell you a guy who knows a lot about money, and that is Tony Robbins. So I don't have to have a show today. Tony doesn't have to be on the show for you to learn from Tony. As a matter of fact, it's probably easier to learn from Tony if he's not with you. When he's with you, all you're thinking about is, man, this guy's big. I've spent time with Tony. I went backstage with Tony, and I sat on the front row at one of his seminars. We didn't walk on fire or anything like that. I can't tell you for sure what I learned while I was there. You know what I'm saying? But I can tell you a lot of the things that I learned by reading his book. So that's what we're going to talk about today. But to remind you why we don't have a guest today is we are in total organized chaos mode. It's the busiest week we've ever had with 66 events. That's why Paul's riding my producer like a $2 mule.
Yes, and I actually had to work pages yesterday, so it's
You had to work
chaos.
pages yesterday?
Yes, sir.
We're going to talk about working in just a little bit and the importance of it, and actually how dumb it is too. But I'll get back to you on that. How dumb it is to work. Think about that, and I'll explain later. Now, we are moving to our new location in Douglas, Georgia. Man, is that thing super nice. It is state of the art, and the people are moving the furniture inside. Wasn't even sure I was going to make it on the show. That's the last thing I want to do was have a guest. But let me tell you the best way to learn. And I'm going to tell you what 99.9% of all rich people do, and that's read, and they read a lot. So this is a great book to read. It's called Winning in the Money Game. I'm not going to tell you too much about that one right now, but I am going to give you some very good information. The average CEO reads one book per week. So I made up my mind a long time ago to do that. This is a guy who knows a little bit about money right there. That's definitely a book you should read. You me tell you the main thing I learned in this book. The main thing is, other than he was a-hole, is to have anything amazing, you have to work 100 hours a week. Not forever, but for a long time. You really do. So a couple people who taught me about reading, number one was Grant Cardone. He's the one that pointed out to me that the average CEO reads one book per week, and the average American reads one book per year. And that is not necessarily a helpful book. It could be a romance novel, could be a murder mystery. Not that there's anything wrong with either one, even though there is, but not that there's anything wrong with those. You're not really learning anything if the one book you read every year is something other than one of these guys. So Grant actually pointed out that the average CEO reads one book per week. And so he decided he would do that. I decided I would do that. Then Grant decided he was going to write a book. And Grant, correct me if I'm wrong, but rather than go to a publisher, he self-published. And then rather than going to the bookstores and trying to get it on the bookshelves, he made sure he got it in the bookstores at the airport. Now, Smith, anyone watching, Felipe, Derek Tippins, thank you for joining my brother. I appreciate you. I want you to be on the show. Smith, send Derek a friend request. Mm-hmm. And then Derek, if you will, just also give us your email address, because if you expect me to remember, I'm not going to be able to do it. So Smith is the person to schedule getting Derek on the show. Now, Joey, thank you. Felipe, do you know why Grant wanted his book in the airports rather than in the bookstores? Anybody watching, do you know why Grant wanted his book in the airports rather than the bookstores? While we wait on a couple of answers about that, I'll tell you some more. One of Grant's books, I think the first was Sell or Be Sold, the first one he wrote. And then I think he's at 5 or 6, 7 books now. And he said if he had to do it over again, that he would not write Sell or Be Sold first, that he would write the Millionaire's Booklet. It's about this big. So here's my point is you don't have to read these super thick books, but it is important that you read because rich people read. And this is a money show and we want to be rich.
I got a quote, if I can remember how this is.
Lay it on me.
Read what you love until you love to read. Mm-hmm. I love that one.
Okay. So to that point, most people don't like to read. Mm-hmm. You know what Grant says about that?
What's that?
So what? Do it anyway. Did you like working pages yesterday?
Absolutely not.
But do it anyway. It's important. We have to do these things.
Yes, sir.
You have to be willing to do these things that other people aren't willing to do so that you can have the life that they don't have and the life that you want. So anyway, in the Millionaire's Booklet, the point of this show is to help you with money. And these people that I'm talking to you about, I've already read all their books. So I don't have to do what they have done, even though I hope I'm on the similar path as some of them, to understand how they think. Because did you know, when you are reading a book, you're having the thoughts of a genius, if indeed a genius wrote the book. When you are reading, it's especially effective to read out loud. Then you are actually having the thoughts of a genius, and that's very important. But Grant, who wrote many books before he wrote the Millionaire Booklet, I should have a copy of it in here. If anybody has a copy of the Millionaire's Booklet, bring it to me, please. In the Millionaire's Booklet, Grant talks about the importance of increasing your income. So many people try to save their way into wealth. Think and Grow Rich, wonderful book. Read it many times. Powerful book. But back to the millionaires. You're confusing me with
I apologize. I'll stop
with those comments.
I try to engage.
Smith is. If you see what I need to talk about, let me know.
Yes, sir.
Okay. In the Millionaire's Booklet, which was not Grant's first book, he says he wished that had been his first book. If he had to do it over again, that would be his first one. So many people that have worked for me that will hashtag 10X in a minute, or that'll throw up the 10X symbol. Paul calls them the talkers and the squawkers. They will talk the talk. But I said, have you read the Millionaire Booklet? The skinniest book he ever wrote. No. Come on, man. You're not serious. You're not serious. It's okay. We don't have one in here. That's okay. That's not a problem. It's not a problem. I have it right here. The ninjas have them at home. Okay.
Quote unquote.
It's at home. If you're serious about money, you have to read, and you have to read a lot. You need to read a book per week. Now let's go to the comments. And at the end of the comments, I'm going to tell you why Grant insisted that his book be in the airports and not necessarily in the bookstores. Let's talk about the comments.
Well, I think the only response we've got to that is Sarah so far. Traffic and captive audience, like a grocery store checkout placement.
That's not totally incomplete, but I'm sorry, that's not totally incorrect, but it's slightly incomplete. It's true. You have a captive audience, but if you have a captive audience, you're writing business books and you're writing sales books, and your captive audience is, let's see how I can say this. Your captive audience is moms, new moms, first-time moms, stay-at-home moms. Okay, there you go. If your captive audience is stay-at-home moms, then it's not necessarily going to help you. What did Corey Levin say?
I like this message.
Yeah, it's a good message. Thank you, Corey. Corey's got some good messages, too. If you're not friends with Corey, send Corey a friend request. If he already has over 5,000 friends, just follow Corey. There's lots of interesting information and some very specialized knowledge that he'll put out there. So you got to read a lot. And the reason Grant wanted his book in the airports is because his captive audience, Sarah, thank you for the answer, is business people. Business people fly a lot. CEOs fly a lot. Business owners fly a lot. And they are captive. And they're sitting around. They're going to read something. So do you know, when I go to these private airports around the country, I leave one of these in the lounges everywhere I go, because I want rich people to know me. You need to reach up for your friends. You need to increase the number of rich people in your friends. If you show me your 5 best friends, I'd like to try this with somebody who would be honest with me and not let me see them. But if they could tell me their 5 closest friends, their annual income, their body weight, their marital status, their commitment to reading, their goals, I could tell you what your goals are, because it's going to be the average of those 5 people. It's okay. And I almost said it's impossible for that not to be, but you might do it for a little while, But if you're a married man hanging out with 5 unmarried men, people that are around you, that's why everybody talks about surrounding yourself with successful people. That's why, because you're going to take on their characteristics. And if you will read a lot, you'll start taking on the characteristics of the people who read. You can't help it. Can't help but do it. So that's why he wanted to be in the airports. And then he decided to write a bunch of books and actually inspired me to write my book. I'll tell you about another. Let's look at Grant's bio real quick. Can you pull that up for me? Let's see if we can find Grant. Read, sir. Read who Grant is, because here's the thing. When I bring you information, I'm not going to be bringing you information that is not useful. And I'm always saying be very careful who you get your information from. So let's make sure we're taking information from the right person.
CEO of Cardone Capital, international speaker, entrepreneur, and author of the 10X Rule and creator of 21 best-selling business programs. Grant Cardone owns and operates 7 privately held companies and a $1.5 billion portfolio of multifamily properties.
You want me to correct that? There's a mistake there. Read the last sentence again.
Grant Cardone owns and operates 7 privately held companies and 1.5 billion.
1.5. Yep. That
Yes.
1.5 a billion is now 1.8 billion.
Wow.
So update your website there, GC. I know these things. So anyway, my point is very qualified to give you this information. So get the Millionaire's booklet and read it. And the first thing he talks about in there is increasing your income. Now, why is it important to increase your income? Somebody tell me, why is it important to increase your income more than save money? Because you can't save yourself to riches. You can't save enough. You have to increase your income, because guess what's increasing every single day? The national debt, inflation. Guess what's dropping every single day? What's going down in value every single day? The value of the Benjamins. So that's why I like these guys, because they actually have their mugshot there. You know, that's quite the contrarian way to think about money, but it's not about stacking the cash. So many people talk about stacking the cash. It's about increasing your revenue, increasing your sales, increasing your income. I wish Paul wasn't so busy, because Paul makes a great guest on this show. So I'm going to play Paul and Billy real quick. Okay. Paul, why is it so important? I'm going to play both roles. Paul, why is it so important to increase your income rather than save money? Why is it so important to increase your cash flow rather than stack cash? Billy, I don't know. Why is it? Because cash flow is what we pay for things with. Cash flow is how we become more powerful. Cash flow is how we expand. Cash flow is about expansion. Saving is about retraction, or holding on to part of what you have. Paul, what have I told you many times about scalability and about business? Well, for starters, you told me that if you're not growing your business and expanding sales, then you don't have a business, you have a hobby. Okay, that's enough of that.
It was funny.
It was funny, but this is a serious show about money. If you do not have a scalable business, if you're not growing your business, you don't really have a business, you have a hobby, or you have a job. One of the worst ways to make money is to have a job. Now, look, I got 48 employees. Why would I say that? Because I hope that I am empowering them to become business people and entrepreneurs, and they're at a place where they can have an entrepreneurial mindset and still enjoy working here. So, and hey, in 5 years, maybe you've learned enough where you can fly away, little Smith. Maybe one day you can leave the nest. What do you think?
I think I'll get there.
I think you will too. Now, I know you don't like it when I turn on this fan back here, but it's hot. So hold on.
You're good. I'm very sensitive to noise in the background, so sometimes I may hear it and no one else does.
This may not be the best show to use as promotional videos anyway, but we do have some people on here. Do we have any new? Because I would like to make it interactive if anybody's on here that we need to talk about.
Derek says, just posted a picture of the book, The Millionaire Booklet.
Thank you, Derek. Derek's going to be a great guest. See how helpful that guy is?
Mhm.
Which leads me to a great point. If you want to make a lot of money, you need to help other people make a lot of money. If you want to get what you want, you need to make sure that other people are getting what they want. This is absolutely the right mindset. You cannot be self-centered and get rich. You may think somebody's rich. You may think they have some cash, $100,000, which isn't a lot of money, by the way. But I know people who have $100,000 who think they have something, but they have a very small friend list. They're not growing their business. They're just holding on to something that's useless. Now, did I just say that money is useless? Money is useless until you actually use it. It serves no purpose other than it's there in case you need it. But if you sit on a stack of cash and never do anything with it, that money never served a purpose. It was just your security blanket. So anyway, you have to increase your income. You have to increase your cash flow. One of the things I'm most proud of about our business, first of all, I'm most proud of being able to help people and to help people grow. Like Smith, who came in here as an engineer, now he's a producer. And I think will one day be probably Smith, unless the course really changes. I think you'll be running a huge part of our company and have that freedom to work on what you love without taking much risk, or you may want to move to California and do your own thing. But I really enjoy helping people grow and get to a better place. That's my favorite thing. Now, that's what I'm most proud of, but I'm also very proud of the fact that in 3 years, we've never not have had year-over-year increase in sales and revenue. And that's because we have such a scalable business. You have to, if you want a business and you want to increase your income, you have to have a scalable business. You have to be able to do it at a larger level. You have to be able to touch more people. There is a 911 going on in the office right now with Dory and Paul trying to fix the air conditioner. Hey guys, we'll be moved back to Douglas very shortly. I got 2 brand new AC units, brand new furniture. It's going to be awesome. I'm going to share some pictures of it very soon with the furniture in there. April was a little upset that I shared all the photos yesterday.
It looks beautiful.
It does look beautiful. And we had almost maybe over 200 likes on that now. Likes matter, by the way, and I'll talk more about that in just a second. But the reason she was upset that I shared it was, man, like today the chairs came in, and when the furniture the rugs came in. She's got a rug. I unrolled this rug. I thought I mean, there's no way that this rug was not a lot of money, because I've never seen a rug like this before. And this is a money show. So we're going to get April to tell us how much the rug was. I probably don't want to know, but she is an amazing designer. Now, I told you I was going to make a point.
You were talking about why she didn't want it to be posted yet.
Oh yeah, because she just wants to sit with all the furniture in there. Now we've never not had year over year.
Talking about scalable businesses.
Yeah, we've never not had year over year increase in sales. So that means that we're definitely growing and we're adding value and we're helping dealers get what they want, so we're able to get what we want. But we're just in the beginning, because there's 40,000 dealers in the country. You have to know your market. You have to know who your customers are. Smith, who are my customers?
Dealers.
Car dealers. So you got to know how many car dealers there are. There's 40,000 car dealers. We've worked with 2,000 of them. That's not enough. I want at least 10%. That's 4,000. And then we're going to go for 50%. Now, can you pull up the bio of, let's go with Warren Buffett. Can you pull up the bio of Warren Buffett?
Sir.
Let's see what he said. Read us who Warren Buffett is. I think most people know Warren Buffett. You don't have to read the whole thing. Just maybe read the highlights there.
Warren Buffett is an American investor, business tycoon, philanthropist, and the chairman and CEO of Berkshire Hathaway. He is considered one of the most successful investors in the world and has a net worth of US $78.9 billion as of August 2020.
Okay, he's definitely qualified to take advice from him. And it says consider one of
He's the 7th wealthiest person in the world.
But it says he says he's considered one of the most successful investors in the world. There's not a better investor. I mean, he was, I think he was in his 50s before he really started having success, and now he's the 7th richest man in the world. Let me tell you something about Warren Buffett that I've already talked about earlier. Warren Buffett reads up to 6 hours per day. Rich people read. If you're not reading, you're not going to be rich. You got to be reading. You got to be soaking up the knowledge. He reads financial statements. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just trying to hold back from looking at the comments.
Good. Russ Story's on there. There's a little guy that knows a little bit about money. By the way, the Russ Story Show, you can click on Russ's name. If he doesn't have 5,000 friends, send him a friend request. I'm pretty sure he's going to be going live from his personal page too, and I'll tell you why. And then, of course, you can search Story Wealth Management. Feel free to put it in the comments, Russ, so people can see your business show as well. But let me explain something to you. This is some inside information. It may not be that inside, but there's a lot of people who don't know it. So if you do know this, then just allow me to get some of these other people up to par. Your personal Facebook page allows you to have 5,000 friends, but it also allows people to follow you. So if you max out 5,000 friends, then maybe you can get a few thousand people to follow you as well. When you post something, Facebook uses algorithms to show that to a certain number of people. Generally, it's people who have interacted with you, it's people who have liked one of your posts or a lot of your posts in the past. It is people who, if you're using certain words, talking about money, or especially if you use hashtags, it's going to show people who are interested in those things. If you start liking a lot of political ads on one side of the aisle, then it's going to show it to people who also like that, and probably not quite as many as the other one. Now, they do still share it to some of them, but what it creates is what's called a vacuum chamber. Is that what it is?
Echo chamber.
Echo chamber, yeah. An echo chamber. Thank you. That's why I keep young, smart people around. So will you explain what an echo chamber is?
An echo chamber is basically anywhere on a social media platform or otherwise where you're isolated to people who essentially agree with you, or at the very least don't have much pushback. Yeah. So if you're a never Trumper, mm-hmm.
and especially on Twitter, and as many times if I'm using the word Twitter and YouTube on here, they're probably going to suppress this a little bit. That's their competition. That's Facebook's competition. But anyway, especially on Twitter, they're going to show it to people who agree with you. And that's what causes such problems and division, is because you never have people around you or in your news feed that disagree with you. So your thinking gets so rigid in one direction. I'm going to make a point of this about the business page in just a second, but stay with me for this for a second. This is why it's important to have people with differing opinions around you and on your friends list, and you need to like their stuff. Because if you don't, you're going to be very rigid in your thinking, and regardless how right you think you are, it's very productive and beneficial to listen to a counter argument. It's very important to listen to people without arguing. And if you're going to have a lot of money, you have to be open-minded. As a matter of fact, watch how I segue this. Warren Buffett, who is busy reading 7 hours a day, 6 and 7 hours a day, has never written a book. But I know what he thinks because people have written books about him. This one's had over 1 million books sold. Okay. All right. Let me finish the story about the business page and the personal page. So let's say you have a business. The first thing you need to do is create goodwill, showing that you know what you're talking about, giving away useful information. Let's say you have a business that helps car dealers. Then I need to tell people, I need to give away these secrets right here. You can buy this book, or you can also go on Amazon and you can download the Kindle version for free. Okay. I'm creating goodwill. I'm giving you useful information. Rule number 1, make a big offer. Rule number 2, have a great attitude. Rule number 2, be fast or dead. Rule number 3, have a great attitude. Those 3 are interchangeable. That's why I got number 3 as number 2. Because rule number 1 could be have a great attitude. You can't be great at the art of text message selling without all 3 of the rules. Rule 1, 2, and 3 can be interchangeable in any form. You have to have a great attitude. You have to be fast, and you have to make a big offer. Okay. So the first thing I need to do if I want to serve a lot of car dealers and I want to grow my business, I have to get on Facebook, these other social medias, and give away that information. I have to give it away, and then I can give away the other 20 rules. So there's 23 secrets to dominating social media selling. That's going to create goodwill. Then I can do a little bit of promoting on my personal page. I'm still on my personal page. Notice I didn't say if I have a business, the first thing I need to do is jump on Facebook and create a business page. Because let me tell you what happens when you do that. I have a business. I jump on Facebook. I have 100 friends. That's all I have because I'm using Facebook. This is hypothetical now. Okay. Hypothetical. This is make-believe Billy. I have a business. I have 100 friends on Facebook. I have 1,000 friends. Okay. I jump on Facebook and I create a business page because I want to keep my business separate. That's my first mistake. My first mistake is I don't have 5,000 Facebook friends. But my second mistake is I want to keep my business separate. No. You are your business, or you don't have a very powerful business. If your business, you should be working your business 100 hours a week unless you're already a multimillionaire. And then you'll probably want to work even more than that. But here's why more importantly, or just as importantly as you needing to be the business and keep it together and keep it all on the same page. If you create a Facebook business page and you only have, let's say you have 2,000 Facebook friends, who are you going to get to follow your page?
A couple of the same people.
The same people.
Probably not all of them either.
Not all of them. No, because matter of fact, it's very hard to get people to come over there and follow you. But most importantly, let's say you got all 2,000 of your friends. All of your friends like your business page now. And some people like your business page that aren't your friends. Very unlikely. Let's say you have 2,000 Facebook friends and you have 10,000 business page followers, and you make a post on your personal page. Say, I'm selling dogs. I'm selling cats. I want to sell a cat. I have the cutest cats on the internet. You put that on your personal page, and then you go over to your business page. Remember, you have 10,000 followers on your business page, and you post on your business page, I have the cutest cats on the internet. Which one do you think is going to get more attention?
Personal.
Your personal page. So the algorithms are constantly changing. So you can't say, if anybody tells you they know the exact number of people or percentage of your friends that will see your post, they're lying to you, because the algorithm changes every single day. If you don't believe it changes every single day, you ask Sarah Stalker what kind of nightmare we went through last week when it was changing. We had some serious problems that we had to solve, that we did solve them. But it is, I'll give you this ratio. A whole lot more people see your personal page post than those that see your business page. It doesn't matter if you have 10,000 followers on your business page. Not nearly as many people are going to see that as see your personal post. So just use that and max it out. Why is that? Do you know why that is?
I'm guessing it's because it's what the algorithm favors.
Yeah, but why would they program the algorithm in such a way? Because Facebook is one of the most successful businesses in the history of humanity. And where do they get their money from?
Your personal information.
Yes, they do. That's right. That's a good point. That's deeper than the answer I'm asking. That's 100% right. See, I'm not always telling you wrong. That's 100% correct, because we are the product. Your personal information is the product. But on the surface, where does Facebook get their money from?
Advertisements.
How do you advertise on Facebook?
Well, you're obviously going to be advertising 2 personal pages.
Right, but
you target
where are you advertising from?
Business pages, typically, yes.
Absolutely, 100%. Not typically, 100%. You must advertise from your business page. So we've spent, I think Sarah can correct me if I'm wrong, 7 million, 6 million. It's over 5 million. We spent over $5 million in the last 2 years on Facebook ads. Okay. So we spent that from our business page. They would not get that $5 million if they showed it to everybody for free. So they're not going to show your stuff on your business page. It's something like 1%. Okay. 1% of the people are going to see your business post organically. Other than that, you have to spend money to get your posts out there. So business people, and I have some more information I want to get in, but this is so important. If you're a business person and you're just getting into Facebook, don't make the mistake of building a business page and posting a lot. For instance, we have a Billy Merritt personal page. We have a Billy Merritt business page that we sometimes use to run ads. We spend most of our money, which the $5 million that we spent is from dealer pages targeting customers. Okay. So that's how we make our money, charging dealers to get these customers for them. Okay. But every time I post something, every time you post a video on my personal page and then on my business page, a few people will see it and comment on the business page that don't see it on the personal page. So I say post on both and post often. But just if you're going to pick one, you got to pick your personal page and you got to max it out. Then when it's maxed out, you can jump over there on your business page and spend a pile of money on your ads. But don't think you're going to post something on your business page and that a lot of people are going to see it, because they're probably not. Now, let me tell you what Warren Buffett said, other than reading, or I'm going to tell you about Warren Buffett. This isn't what he said because he doesn't say much. He doesn't write any books. He's constantly reading. But I'm going to give you some advice from somebody who is the most successful investor of all times, and see if it's something that we should adopt. You think if your goal is to have a lot of money,
listen to people with a lot of money.
Okay. The number one reason is he's mentally flexible. You can't be too rigid. That's why you have to listen to both sides of the story. You have to be willing to change, adapt, and grind it out. You have to adapt and change. What's Paul say? Adjust and adapt.
I think that's right.
I think that's it. Secondly, he's a contrarian. Man, I can't even read that without my glasses. This make me look smarter.
A little bit.
You know what? Even though I can read that, he's a contrarian and iconoclastic. Iconoclastic. I'm not sure what that means, but do you know what it means?
Look it up real quick. I've heard it.
But anyway, so I'm going to stick to the contrarian part. Whereas the typical investor thinks he should follow the herd despite its susceptibility to errors and of emotion, the best investors behave in a contrarian manner.
A person who attacks cherished beliefs or institutions.
Wow. Read that again.
A person who attacks cherished beliefs or institutions.
Okay, so let's talk about another book.
I know exactly where you're going.
Let's talk about another book right here. The Art of Text Message Selling. The Sacred Cow Must Die. Before we learn the 23 rules, we must first kill a sacred cow. So, read iconoclastic again.
A person who attacks cherished beliefs or institutions.
Am I someone who does that?
Absolutely.
So you could say I'm iconoclastic. I didn't even know what that
sir.
was until just a few minutes ago. I don't know how I do not know how I highlighted this without actually looking up that word. Guess I didn't see it when I read it. But he's a contrarian. That's the point that I highlighted right here. If 99 people are going this way, he's going that way. If 9 out of 10 people say you should do it, he's probably not going to do it. That's true, man. If you are a herd follower, you're not going to have a lot of money. If you're going to have a lot of money, you got to do things that other people aren't willing to do. Read 6 hours a day, at least read a book a week. You may not read, I'm not going to read 6 hours a day. So I can't even tell you that I'm going to do that. I don't think many people can do that, but it's a very contrarian thing to do.
By the way, Sarah said $6 million.
$6 million. So we spent $6 million on Facebook ads. We would not have spent that if Facebook would show it to people for free. So they're not showing your stuff. They're not showing your post to people on your business page. Stop posting on your business page expecting a lot of results. Post it on your personal page. You think that people are going to get tired of seeing what you post on your personal page? Then they're not your friends. Or guess what? They can unfollow you. We're talking about business. We're not talking about creating a bunch of happy friends that say, oh, look at the cute puppy videos. It is obvious that Warren is highly capable of contrarian behavior. In fact, he revels in it. You have to revel in contrarian behavior. I absolutely revel in contrarian behavior.
Yes.
I love it. You think I do?
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. He's countercyclical. Okay. This is the last one we're going to read right here. He's unafraid to bet big on his ideas. That's not the last one I'm going to read. He's unafraid to bet big. You got to be willing to go all in, knowing that you might lose it.
Scary.
Yeah, it's scary. But you know what? Here's the reason that you're willing to do that. It's not like poker chips. This is big right here. This is big. 5 stars. You have to be willing to go all in, knowing that there is a good chance that you might lose it all. Now, I'm talking about in business. I'm talking about in effort. I'm talking about in going for it, going big, putting your business out there. But it's not like poker, because in poker, you have to reach in your pocket and get more chips. In business, 90% of business is effort. People say you have to have money to make money. That's not true. You know how I know this? Because I didn't have any money. And now I've made a lot of money. I did it out of pure effort. You have to push, you have to shove, you have to claw, you have to grab, and you have to push yourself into the marketplace. You have to take your market share. You have to go all in every day, knowing that you may not make it. But guess what? Tomorrow morning you wake up and you're given a whole new stack of chips again. They can't take your effort chips from you. You can get tired, you can go to sleep, you can pass out out of exhaustion, but you're going to wake up, you're going to get nourished, and you're going to go after it again, all in, every single time, every day, knowing that you may not get it.
And you're going to get more and more efficient at it.
Yeah, you will. And eventually, here's the thing. If you go to a poker table and you have limitless chips, you should go all in every time. Eventually, you're going to hit it. If you have unlimited chips, and we have unlimited effort chips, go all in with your effort every single time, because eventually you're going to hit it. It's going to look like a rocket ship, and they're going to say, man, you sure did get lucky. Yep, I got lucky.
Lucky after 10 years of work.
10 years of going all in and losing, I got lucky. All right, one more. We're going to read this. Finally, he's not worried about losing his job. So you can't be worried about losing your job. You have to go all in and quit asking for permission. Stop asking for permission. Go all in and stop asking for permission. Excuse me. If we got any new comments, I want to read them, and I'm going to tell you something that Robert Kiyosaki told me.
Ramey Newton says Warren Buffett, more like Jimmy Buffett. Let's see. Change is inevitable.
Hold on. Let me go back to Jimmy Buffett. Now, Jimmy Buffett is without a doubt a very cool guy to listen to music to. But I'm trying to remember why he would say Warren Buffett more like Jimmy Buffett.
I think Ramey's is trying to be funny.
He's being a contrarian.
Yeah, true.
Way to use the rules, Ramey. Go for
it.
Yeah. All right, go ahead.
Ramey Newton says Professor Merritt in the studio.
My man, Ramey.
Borrowed book. Not sure that's true. Tim McCarn says you will never change anything that you are willing to tolerate.
You know what? That is such a good point. So, and mainly what you'll tolerate from yourself. If you, man, I hear people say it every day, and I don't want to offend anybody. If you're watching the Monday Morning Money Show, this is not going to offend you. So I want you to do two things. Like this video because you're thinking correctly, and then share it with somebody who will get offended because we need all the attention we can get. Here's what I don't want to offend you with. People who say, I don't want to be rich. I want to just have enough. I just want to pay my bills. I just want to be comfortable. That's pretty selfish. I don't want to be rich. That's selfish.
Because you're not providing as much value. Is that where you're going?
If you have children, that's very selfish. If you're a very charitable person, that's very selfish. How are you going to help?
How are you going to help your family?
How are you going to help your family?
Even if you don't have kids, how are you going to help your parents?
How are you going to help? If you're a charitable person and you would like to make a difference, the easiest way to make a difference is to go home and love your family. We've already talked about that. The next best way is to fund something that's important because everything needs money. The intro of this show talks about money. What does it say? It's important, or get some.
Get some.
Money is important. You better get some. So, you can only tolerate. I mean, you can only change things. Read it for me.
You will never change anything that you are willing to tolerate.
So if you tolerate that kind of stinking thinking of I just want to be okay, I just want to be, just want to pay my bills, then you're tolerating that, and you never will be rich. You have to drive a stake in the ground and say, I want to be rich, and it's okay. There's nothing wrong with saying that. There is a stigma, I think, attached to people who say they want to be rich. Isn't that kind of silly?
It is a little bit silly.
I want to be healthy,
mm-hmm.
And I want to be rich. I don't see why that should be a problem. Can you pull up Robert Kiyosaki's bio for me?
Got it.
Could you spell that before I told you how to spell it earlier today?
Still loading. Ooh, maybe. Obviously the first part. Not sure about the second one. Robert Toru Kiyosaki is an American businessman and author. Kiyosaki is the founder of Rich Global LLC and the Rich Dad Company, a private financial education company that provides personal finance and business education to people through books and videos. The company's main revenues come from the franchisees of the Rich Dad seminars that are conducted by independent individuals using Kiyosaki's brand name for a fee. He is also the creator of the cash flow board and software games to educate adults and children about business and financial concepts.
You know why most people don't read? Because that was the boringest 60 seconds that I have spent on the show so far. So it is boring. Right. It's boring to read. So I'm going to give you the Cliff Notes. I'm going to give you a head start. I'm going to give you some information that I've already read that will help you. Lesson number 1 by one of that guy who he just read all those accolades about. He's a very successful business person. This is one of the number 1 selling books of all time, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. One of the first books I read when I made a commitment to reading 1 book per week, which I did for years, 10 years to be exact. Lesson number 1, the rich do not work for money. The rich don't work for money. The poor and middle class work for money. The rich have money work for them. Okay, so let's talk about that. We have to work, but working is a terrible way to spend your time. Unfortunately, you have to do it until you have enough money where your money's working for you, or until you have your own business where your business is working for you. But I do have to slow down. I don't want that to be taken the wrong way. Okay, so I've got 48 people working for me. I have my number 1 and number 2 in here are super amazing. I have super talented people around me. Do you know one of the worst things I can do for my business? Not show up. If I am not, actually, you need to work even more when you have a business. So when can you not work? Well, here's the thing. If you have your money working for you in investments, Russ Story told us about that earlier in the show. If you have other people working for you, you have your business, you have your brand. I have my producer. You have your videos out there working for you. You have landing pages. You have sales funnels. You have your website. You have your store. You have all these things working for you. Still very, very important that you work as much as you can. But guess what? You have the freedom to not work if something comes up. I had some big things come up over the weekend, but I'm in a position where I have other people working for me. And that's a much better situation than having the, if you're working for your money and something comes up, you have to take off work and lose that money. So while you are working for money, you need to be growing your cash flow, increasing your income, being more effective at what you do, and then putting that money to work in assets. Russ Story said he can help you with that. I'm pretty sure he can. Two things. How much time do we have left? And do we have any new comments?
We've got about 8.5 minutes. Tim McCarn also says, no one was born to be a failure. When you believe in your dreams and your vision, then it begins to attract its own resources.
Such a great point. Tim, stop taking over the show, man. Goodness. No, that's just joking. Anytime you want to come take over the show, buddy, you jump on here and help me. I do appreciate it. I want to get to lesson 2 real quick. But I also want to comment on what Tim said. Read it to me again. Let me comment as you go.
No one was born to be a failure. When you believe in your dreams and your vision, then it begins to attract its own resources.
So I totally agree. No one was born to be a failure. So it's your duty, it's your obligation to figure it out. Nobody said it was going to be easy either. It's not easy to be fit. It's not easy to be healthy. It takes dedication and hard work. And to be financially fit, you have to get a financial education. Best way to start is with reading people's books that already know, that have already done it, to invest in yourself. It is your duty to figure it out. It's not going to be easy. It's going to be hard. Nobody wants to read a book a week. Most people don't, I guess some people do. I mean, I still read quite a bit. I don't quite read a book per week anymore because now I dive deep into some of these very complex books, but it's not fun. I don't do it for fun. I do it because it's effective. So what did Brady Roberts say?
And don't get me started on the people that hate with a burning passion the wealthy, or those that have worked and earned their wealth. I don't think that there is a group of people that piss me off more, quite possibly in the entire world.
I hear you, Brady. I'm with you, buddy. Okay, so I'm going to read. I'm with you. You're exactly right. It is silly for people to talk negatively about rich people. There's a huge misconception out there that rich people are greedy. Now, don't get me wrong. There's a lot of greedy rich people, but there's overwhelmingly tremendous amount, higher percentage, I should say. There's a overwhelming higher percentage. I would say it's 90%. 90% of all the rich people I know are some of the most giving people I know. I truly believe that they are rich because they are givers. I totally believe that, because they're constantly giving and making other people wealthier, adding value to other people, and it just comes back to them. Totally believe that, Brady. So I'm glad that Brady is not a hater of success. Brady is a student of success, and he's doing a great job. So let me read lesson 2, and then we'll see if there's any more comments we need to talk about. Lesson 2. Why do we even teach financial literacy? Because it's not how much money you make, it's how much you keep. So you have to increase your income. Grant told us that. If you're not increasing your income, you're not going to make it because of inflation, because of the declining value of the dollar. Prices are going up. Your income has to go up with it. And then you have to figure out a way to put that money to work so you can actually have it. Now, one of the most effective ways to do that is investing in something that is tax deductible, because in business, your number one expense, your biggest expense is taxes. We've done 13 million in revenue in the last 12 months between Caleb and me. About 50-50. We've done about the same amount in each. There's we keep 2 different books. Caleb's sales and my sales. And we've done right at 13 million in revenue. And our biggest expense overwhelmingly is taxes. So you have to figure out a way to pay less taxes. You can hire professionals. You can also read books on it. There's a lot of books that tell you how to do that. And the simplest thing I can tell you is buy assets. Okay. I've said it before. You don't see any Rolexes on me. Okay. But I have invested way more. I could have bought a ton of Rolexes for what we spent in equipment, the new office, advertising,
educational platform.
Oh my goodness, the Digi Ninja platform. We could have bought a truckload of Rolexes for what we spent on that. But that Rolex isn't going to pay you anything back. All these things that we're spending money on is going to pay us back. Speaking of paying back, if you ever need a favor, let me know. I'll be happy to help you. Likes matter. If someone has a good post, it's important to help them by liking it. If you will, like this post, share this post, go a step further and share this post. Hey, I was at a dealership this past week. Funny story. Exactly what we're talking about right here. And the finance manager, very motivated young man, was doing a great job. He's 25 years old. There's a lot of people over 25 that aren't in the finance office, but production gets you in the finance office where the money's made. They were giving this guy a hard time because every day at 11, he watches the show. Okay. He will not like the show because they give him a hard time about watching the show. I said, let me show you something, buddy. I said, I know you're going to get a lot of ridicule for watching the show, especially locally. You know, people in Texas and the 46 other states we do business in are huge fans of the show. Local people don't like to see you do well for some reason. It's bizarre to me. But I pulled out my phone. I said, see, if you had liked, it's not on here right now. So Smith's looking, but I pulled out my phone and I showed it to him. I said, if you'd have liked it, and there were several successful people who had liked the show. And it just so happened at the top was Grant Cardone.
Yes, sir.
Grant had liked one of the shows where Caleb and I was talking. I said, would you rather listen to Grant Cardone and do what he does, like Billy's show? Or would you rather listen to these guys who give you a hard time who are out here?
They're not making as much money as you.
They're not even making as much money as you, and you're going to listen to them give you a hard time. That's why they're not making any money, because they spend their time talking about people. Okay. So this is an odd concept to me, but part of what you earn is yours to keep. That's so odd to me. And it took me till about 45 years old, 46, before I actually understood what that means. We work our whole lives earning money. And then if you look up, if you have, especially by definition, if you have spent your money on liabilities, you don't have any of it left. So if you've worked all these years with nothing to show for it, the simplest way to make sure that you have something to show for it is to set up a way where you can invest money in something that's going to be there for you. You know, you set it up automatically, because one of the worst feelings in the world would have to be working your entire life and waking up in your 60s and not having any money. That would have to be bad. So, start now. Because it's important how much you keep, and you have to, man, if you can invest in something that's going to increase your income, if you can invest in your business that's going to scale and grow, and that revenue is going to get bigger and bigger, that is the type of self-fulfilling prophecy that you want to do. Lesson number 3, and I'm going to get out of here. Mind your own business. The rich focus on their asset columns while everyone else focuses on their income statements. So if you're minding your business, you are growing your asset column. If your asset column is growing, your income is definitely going to grow, because an asset by definition is something that pays you back. Be very careful who you get your advice from. If you're taking advice from people who don't have a lot of assets, and when I mean assets, I mean cash producing assets. If you're taking your financial advice from someone who does not have a lot of cash producing assets, you need to be taking your advice from someone else. There's a lot of golden nuggets in today's show. You can go back and hopefully you were taking notes. Smith was. Next Monday, I hope we're broadcasting. We should be broadcasting live from the new studios with an amazing guest. We have some amazing guests lined up for you. Today, we got to talk about Warren Buffett, Robert Kiyosaki, Grant Cardone, Tony Robbins, and Paul Sullivan. Tomorrow, we're going to talk about sales with a very special guest. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you for joining the show. Please like, and please see me on YouTube. And like and subscribe over there as well. We're doing some big things on YouTube. You don't want to miss it. Thank you so much. I appreciate you very much. The fact that you're taking the time to be here with me right now means that if you need something from me, all you got to do is ask me. Thank you.